Jack in the Box tacos suck.
No, they don't. Man.
They are pretend.
No, this is
meat.
your.
Put up a
This
poll.
is. You know what this is? This is Mason's SoFi Stadium is overrated.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this is your because most people like Jack Tacos, and,
And
most people like
SoFi
SoFi Stadium.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
SoFi
think-
Stadium's overrated.
But in the end, Taco Bell tacos are way better than Jack in the Box tacos. I like the crunchiness and the actual meat that's involved.
They're pretty similar,
Actual
Mace.
meat. No, they're not similar.
Yeah, they're pretty
No,
close.
Jack in the Box tacos are soggy. And they can't even say there's meat in them. Literally, they don't list.
Ed Hart says they're great even when you're sober.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
They are. They're delicious.
I'm not kidding. If I drive by a Jack in the Box, like on days when we're not working, if I'll drive by a Jack in the Box and there's no line, boom, 6 tacos. Let's go.
Absolutely
Nothing like them. Diet Dr. Pepper.
Diet
Yeah,
Dr.
because
Pepper.
regular Dr. Pepper is too sugary.
We had a conversation when you weren't here about Dr. Pepper, and we decided who drinks Mr. Pibb. Who actually walks into the store and orders Mr. Pibb?
Only when they don't have Dr. Pepper.
Right. It is Dr. Pepper. It's just like low-end Dr. Pepper.
And anything diet is terrible.
Oh, no. See, I drink Diet Coke. I like the flavor of Diet Coke better
Yeah,
than I do regular
I do too.
Coke.
I'm to the point where regular cola is too sugary.
Yeah, it's got all the fake sugar in it. It's not good for you.
Hey, what are we doing? We can't talk food in this show, remember?
Oh, that's
yeah,
right. We can't talk
do
food.
that.
Why?
Sorry, we can't.
Oh, you don't.
We
You
can't talk
didn't
about
hear
this.
this?
No.
Good call,
Oh,
Jorge.
Travis and Sliwa own the exclusive rights to talking about food. This is their
Interesting.
claim.
Stay in your lane,
This
Mace.
is what Emily says.
Okay, so they own the exclusive right to talking about food, and they are literally the only show on the planet that wants to slow down the pitch clock.
Yeah, we got to slow it down. Slow down those games a little bit.
And by the way, go back and listen to their podcast. Their podcast, like Travis saying, no, that's not what I said. It's exactly what he said.
Even when he was here, he said, I think they should add some time to the pitch clock.
Right.
Literally wants
Well, yeah,
to
he
slow
wants to go
down
to
the
20
game.
to 25 seconds.
He wants more time to get beer and hot dogs and stuff. So he
you're
missed
at the
2
game.
home runs.
Jorge, why are
What
you
are these
pointing to
arms?
the
Oh,
sky?
Oh, you got because he's got the Timberwolves coach.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do that next.
Okay, Chris Finch, Timberwolves coach, what he said about the Rudy Gobert thing and coming here to Los Angeles to face the Lakers tomorrow night in a big play-in game at Crypto.com Arena. By the way, it's Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday on 710 ESPN. It is presented by Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Please enjoy responsibly. Mason, Ireland, 710.
Prince is from Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Used to play basketball.
Home of the real players of Minneapolis. The drama that is coming to town tomorrow night.
What if they get in another fight on the bench tomorrow night? By the way, if that fight would have happened in the locker room, would Gobert have been suspended?
Probably not, right? It's the public look that matters.
Yeah.
And I would imagine it probably happens privately more.
All right, so I don't know if I think this was probably yesterday after the game because I don't think Chris Finch did any media this morning. But you got it, Jorge? Here's Chris Finch, the coach of the Wolves.
Certainly immaturity, it's been one of our kind of issues all season. Been immature at the wrong times. Probably points to why we're, 3-9 or 3-10 against some of the teams that we should be better against.
Gobert's punch.
All right, so here's my question. He admits they are a very immature team.
Yes.
Is that on him and his coaching staff, or are you not expected at the NBA level to be a babysitter? How much of in other words, what happened on the bench yesterday, two teammates,
yes,
getting in a fight, which almost has never happened in the history of sports. I mean, probably has.
Very rarely.
Count the amount of times on one hand. How much, if we're doing a blame pie, how much blame do the coaches get?
They get some. Because, I think
he's a good coach, by the way. Chris
I
Finch,
think that one of the jobs of a coach is to, and you hate this, but it's to establish a culture. Mm-hmm. It is to establish an environment where everybody thrives and everybody is successful. Now, that doesn't mean that you can necessarily get everybody to buy in, and it sounds like not everybody has bought into whatever culture Finch is trying to create.
Well, and it also sounds like Gobert, there's more to that than we know.
Yes.
Like Kyle Anderson's a no-nonsense guy that gets in your face, and he had clearly had it with Gobert. And so everywhere Anderson's been, he's been a vocal veteran leader. And so if he doesn't like you, that's a problem. But Gobert has the immovable contract. If Gobert and Anderson can't coexist, it's not going to be Gobert that's gone. It'll probably be Anderson.
Well, the other thing is, and by the way, we didn't mention the Mavericks thing. The Mavericks tanking in order to
I'd like to get into it.
But
before we get to that, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Jalen McDaniels,
yes,
the guy who threw his fist through a wall.
Yeah.
Jaden
yeah,
is his name. His brother is Jalen, who plays in the league on another team. Jaden throws his hand through the wall. He's out for the postseason.
Yeah.
I know he's going to be, but let me ask you, should he be paid?
Of course.
Of course. If he drove a motorcycle and got in an accident and it's in his contract.
Well, that's in his contract.
Right.
A motorcycle or they put stuff like that in the contract. But this happens.
Bergman, you think the guy who broke his hand by throwing it through a wall should be paid?
This happens in baseball a lot.
But if you put your hand through a wall, you're still hurting yourself the same way that you would.
But you can't.
You're putting stress on your own body.
But
it's the same thing as riding a motorcycle and getting hurt on a motorcycle.
But you can't.
John's
cannot.
Right.
It's an emotional game. He is filled with passion over
the
game.
I think it would be a terrible
in a terrible moment. He punches a wall. But this happens in baseball.
Yeah. By the way, guys,
they're hurt and they're out for a long time.
I think that he will be paid because you don't want to be the team that doesn't support your players. I'll give you.
Well, on top of that, the union would never allow you to not pay him.
Well, get the not the same old story thing ready, Jorge. The Lakers used to have a guy named Vladimir Radmanovich.
We heard the story before, guys.
Yes, you have.
Not the same story.
No, yes,
it is. Vladimir Radmanovich, over an All-Star break,
Yep.
went snowboarding and broke his wrist.
Yes.
And was unavailable for the rest of the season.
Correct.
He told the Lakers he was washing his truck, and fell off it, and the Lakers found out about it.
Yeah.
They paid him anyway because they didn't want to be the team that wouldn't stand behind their players if they had an accident.
Right.
So I think Jaden McDaniels is going to be paid regardless.
The other famous incident of this is Jeff Kent.
Or am I mixing up stories? Was it Jeff Kent?
Jeff Kent is
that
the
said
one
he was washing his truck,
car, and he was actually motorbiking.
Right.
And
okay. I may be confusing those two stories.
Radmanovich was snowboarding. I don't remember what
he
his
told
story
everybody
was.
that he slipped on black ice going to his car or something. But
like
they
that.
found out he was doing something that was violating his contract.
It depends on what's like. For example, in the case of Kent, motorbiking did violate his contract.
Correct.
But the Giants paid him anyway.
But I would think if I throw my fist through a wall and I make myself unavailable for the postseason, I did that to myself. They could void my contract, couldn't they?
I don't think so.
They wanted to? I don't know.
think so.
Interesting question. Okay, so let's get to the Dallas thing.
Okay.
Because you mentioned it.
Yes.
Dallas basically, and we haven't been on since Friday. Dallas basically announced on Friday that they were tanking the rest of the season. Now, there are a lot of teams that are tanking, but nobody came right out and said it like Dallas did.
It was an organizational decision.
Now, they have a weird dynamic going on. Their draft pick in this summer's draft is top 10 protected.
Right.
So if they finish in the bottom 10, they get to keep their pick.
Right.
Winning would have moved them up to 11th or maybe 12th, and then they lose their pick. Correct. So they made the decision that they would rather keep their pick than go in as the 10 seed and try and win the tournament. Anything wrong with that?
Absolutely not. I understand the decision. They want their team. First of all, they obviously have no confidence in the team, the idea that their team is going to make any sort of run out of the 10 spot. And it benefits the franchise to have what could be the 11th or the 12th pick in the NBA draft. Otherwise, they completely lose it. So I get it. They're gaming the system, but I understand why.
I think that's an honest answer. The NBA is going to say, you guys came right out and said you were tanking games, which is not okay. You can, in other words, you can tank, but you can't say that you're tanking. And so I think something may come out of it, but it's very hard to single out the Mavericks when they're at least Utah, who the Lakers played twice in the past week, basically sat everybody.
Right.
Yesterday in Phoenix for the second consecutive game, the Suns sat everybody.
Does it matter what time in the season it is? Like the Mavericks did at the very end of the season, last game, second to last game, whatever happened to be.
It's a good question.
I mean, if you're doing it from the middle of the season, like Houston was tanking.
Well,
for all season they were tanking.
But
they weren't
here's
trying to win.
The difference is they had players who were on the court playing hard, but they're just not good enough to win. In the case of Dallas, they actually took anybody that could help them win off the floor.
Right, at the very end of the season. It wasn't an all-season thing. Like they tanked
Although,
a game
didn't
or
Mark
two.
Cuban talk about this mid-season, about tanking, and they got fined $600,000? Is that right?
I don't remember that, but it's possible. I just don't think the NBA can single out the Mavericks. You know what?
No, it's 2018 he said that. He talked about tanking. He was fined $600,000 for saying it's a reality. Teams are tanking, including us.
The thing about the Mavericks that surprises me is that and maybe they're just posturing, but that they're saying they're going to keep Kyrie. I mean, I know it was a small sample size, but that doesn't work, those two guys.
It's the same thing with Gobert. When you've moved a whole bunch of assets, you're kind of pot committed. And for them to move as much as they did for Kyrie, it seems like you've got to find a way to make it work. Although, you know, as you said, the one reason why the Lakers have been so successful since the trade deadline in particular is that they are the number one defensive team in the league.
And Dallas just doesn't play defense.
They were a sieve. I mean, everybody could score on them. They could not get stops. So I do understand, and that's, you know, they're gaming the system. But if you were Dallas, would you do the same thing?
I would. I just wouldn't have said it.
Right.
I would have done the dance and played the game. Just say, you know, if somebody asked me why aren't Kyrie and Luka playing, I'm saying because we only have 2 games to see what the rest of these guys can do, and we have to make organizational decisions next year. So we know they're good. We need to see these other guys. That's why we're doing what we're doing. When the truth is they're tanking.
All right. Coming up next, John, crayons.
Or as I say, crowns.
Crayons. Very important to one Dodger who is off to a really good start.
Really?
I will explain that coming up next. So we have all heard the...
All right, Captain. May the best man win. I wish you the best of luck. I will say this is kind of like my arena here, so I have to come out with a W. San Diego State lost yesterday. I'm going to win today. I just have to do it. All right? Here we go. Thank you to Islands, by the way.
Hey, Sliwa. You guys may have won in pickleball, but I'm about to win in Papa Shot. I'm so committed to this project. Look around. I'm in the back of Yamava. I got guys holding the thing down in the wind. I got the van right here I'm plugged into. That's how committed I am to winning Papa Shot. Because I'm an island guy, and I'm going to islands. Go!
Champ is here. First off, thank you, Islands. Papa Shot Championship. Guys, sometimes you just got to get the trophy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to get the trophy. Thank you to Islands. Papa Shot is over. Had to take down everybody at the station. I appreciate the effort, but I had to take us home, guys.
Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
So how do you say it? Crowns?
Yeah.
Is that?
No, the proper pronunciation is crayons.
Crayons.
But I just jam it together and say crowns.
Crowns. Bergman, do you say it crayons?
I say crayons.
Yeah, I say crayons too.
Cranes.
Crayons.
So who's the Dodger who uses crayons?
Okay, so here's an interesting story. James Outman, who's off to a really, really good start for the Dodgers. Looks like Rookie of the Year caliber player, one of the real bright spots they've had offensively. Had what Dodgers minor league hitting instructor Keith Beauregard called a caveman swing when he was in the minors. And in particular, his left hand was affecting his swing plane. So what they did was they gave James Outman crayons and a coloring book.
Okay.
And his job, in order to improve his left hand, was to color with his left hand inside the lines. And it's been one of the secrets to fixing his swing is coloring
Do you think that
with his left hand.
Do you think that'll work for my golf swing?
Me or him? You know what? That's not actually a bad idea.
Let's do this.
Bergman, give me a coloring book.
Okay, I have some at home because I have a child.
Of course.
And I'll bring it to you all week. You have to use
I
your
don't.
left
By the
hand.
way, I was a spaz as a kid when it comes to coloring. I would have difficulty, as in
Coloring
life,
inside the lines?
I would have difficulty coloring inside the lines.
Yeah. I thought that was a really interesting way to treat a swing and to get a little bit more subtle with your left hand coloring inside the. By the way, that's an article that I read all the way to the end. You know why?
I'm proud of you. And it was longer than 4 paragraphs?
It's written by Jack Harris of the LA Times, who I read his stuff. And this is what got me to read. It was the headline, Coloring Books Inside James Outman's Major League Rise. I'm like, well, I've got to read that. Where do the coloring books come into this whole thing?
Wow.
So James Outman has been one of the brights. Yeah, it was. So Bergman, Outman has been one of the strong points of the Dodgers lineup so far. I think Max Muncy has been the biggest disappointment so far.
Either him or Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor's got a couple of bombs, though. He's got 2 home runs, but that's about it.
Yes, he's got 2 hits. By the way, Trace Thompson got his first hit since his 3 home run day.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But that was,
But I really think, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, I am genuinely concerned about the Dodgers like I haven't been concerned.
Haven't they only
in
played
at least 5
less than
years.
10 games?
Here's the problem. The Dodgers
exactly.
The Dodgers bullpen.
They're 5-5?
Allowed 9 runs over this 4-game series with Arizona. Gratterall, Almonte, Ferguson, Vesia, Andre Jackson, not getting anybody out. And yesterday, in terms of depth of rotation, Michael Grove got totally lit up. Noah Syndergaard got completely lit up. I think Syndergaard gave up 8 runs, and they just sort of got hung out to dry, which has got to be a terrible feeling. Grove, I think, gave up 9 yesterday, and Robert says he just doesn't have any good options in the bullpen right now.
There really isn't. I mean, who would you want them to go to? You can't use Evan Phillips everywhere.
Right. It's really Bickford has been good,
Bickford!
and Phillips has been
Give
good.
me Bickford!
And Bickford has had a little bit of troubles at certain times too, so he's been good recently.
Yeah.
But he started off a little poorly.
Yeah, and I think depth of rotation is potentially going to be a problem for them. I mean, they need to get Tony Gonsolin back because right now, Syndergaard, you hope works it out, and then that 5th hole. I mean, I can't imagine Michael Grove is the long-term answer.
Why are we thinking Syndergaard is going to be anything different than he's been the last 3 seasons?
Because this is what what happened with Tyler Anderson. He went through the rebuild the rotation rebuild the pitch, rebuild the arm with what the Dodgers did with Tyler Anderson. They've got this knack for getting more out of guys. So the idea was, let's fix Noah Syndergaard. So far, the results are very mixed.
Well, it's mixed because the first game he was actually
he was very good in the first start, yeah.
And then the second start he blew up. So we'll see maybe what happens in the third one. But Tony Gonsolin threw 2 scoreless at Camelback Ranch today, so he's starting to get
okay. Good, that's a good sign.
And Jimmy Nelson, who will go into that bullpen as well. He pitched. He faced 4 batters today and was pretty. So he's starting to come back.
Actually, the guy that was good out of the bullpen, although he's walking guys, is Shelby Miller.
Yeah.
Shelby Miller's walking guys, but he's also striking out guys.
He could be a guy that's like the Tyler Anderson for you. He comes in and he starts pitching like he has when he first came up, as he's the reclamation project. He can be a starter at times, so he could possibly be one of those types of people. I think it will all work itself out, especially when Tony Gonsolin comes out. Yeah, because when it comes back and you go Urias, May, Kershaw, Gonsolin. The fifth starter is kind of you can piece that together. It's the
Right.
bullpen that has the biggest problem.
Hey, how weird is this? Did you guys see in this minor league baseball game, listen to the names of these teams. The Reds AA affiliate, the Chattanooga Lookouts, defeated the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Where is Rocket City?
Not sure.
Okay.
7-5. All right. The seventh inning of the game was one of the most bizarre innings of baseball ever. Chattanooga, those are the Lookouts, racked up 7 runs in the inning despite failing to record a single hit. Thanks to a stunning combination of walks, plunk batters, defensive errors, and wild pitches, the Lookouts posted the 7-run inning without recording even a single. Has that ever happened before?
Well, I've seen teams lose while throwing a no-hitter because of walks. I don't think 7 runs in a no-hitter, that's crazy.
The inning consisted of 5 walks, including 2 with the bases loaded, 2 hit by pitches, a wild pitch, a defensive error by the Trash Pandas center fielder, which was responsible for 3 of the runs.
Trash Pandas is a terrible name for a team.
Well, but minor league baseball, they probably did a name contest, and that's the one that won. Because when you do these name contests now, what happens is
everybody votes for the weirdest one,
and sometimes like inappropriate ones that you can't use, that are either like pornographic or unacceptable, and so they have to settle for Trash Pandas.
But in Major League Baseball, there have been teams that have thrown combined no-hitters and lost games. So it's not completely uncommon. But to lose a game 7-5 while holding the team to no hits
is almost unheard of.
Is completely unheard of. I can't think of any situation like that.
All right. Hey, what's the game of game standings this month, Bergman?
The game of games standings.
I know I don't have any.
Game of games
Game
time.
of games time.
It's pretty close all the way around. So right
All right,
now,
good. Then I'm not out of it.
No, you're not out of it at all. Sedano has 2, Mason has 1, Morales has 1, and I have 1.
Okay.
By the way,
my game today.
The Trash Pandas are the AA affiliate of the Angels.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's Rocket City?
Unclear. Unclear. All right, we're going to do Game of Games coming up next. It is Ireland's game, and as Bergman said, everybody's in play now for the month of April.
Anybody playing from the afternoon show?
Shidano.
Shidano. Is Cappy back today, too?
Yes, he should be back.
Awesome. So we'll get a full-strength Shidano and Cappy coming up for Super Crosstalk. Mason, Ireland, 7.
it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, here we go. It is Game of Games time, and we welcome to the show Shadano. I sometimes screw that up.
Your sibilant S is doubled up on you there.
Sibilant S.
By the way, did you guys give Greg Bergman an apology for getting on him?
Yeah, we read your text.
Yeah,
but I've never heard it referred to as a biopic.
Oh, I've only heard it heard as a biopic.
So like Rocket Man about Elton John,
Right.
It's not a biopic?
It's biopic.
Really?
That rule I sent you is a grammar rule.
You say biopic, I say biopic.
No, it's not tomato.
Yeah.
Bergman is
Potato,
right.
potato.
Give that man the credit.
Thank you.
Credit is due.
Thank you.
And
Never.
apologize to
You've
him.
given
Never.
it to him.
You guys.
What he said.
I mean,
All right.
what's this tie-dye hoodie you got going on today?
I'm tie-dye hoodie.
You're
I
back?
love this.
You're
Yeah,
back?
I'm back.
Yeah.
No, occasionally.
Sweatpants today?
No, I'm wearing
jeans.
big
Wow.
boy pants.
Oh, look at that.
Big boy pants.
Tequila Mandala for you today.
Yeah, we got to make sure you shout them out when I need to, you know?
All
There you
right,
go.
it is time for Game of Games, and it is Ireland's game today. Everybody's in the game for the month of April. Ireland, you're one of the few people who have yet to hit the scoreboard.
Well, it's not going to happen today because I am the host, and we have 4 players. It is
Shadano leads the month.
I have 2.
Okay, so and Sedano, I'm going to say, is a slight favorite in this game.
in the league.
Yeah, it's a slight favorite in this game, but anyone can win.
Anyone.
All right,
Yeah.
the NBA, it's 4 players. It's Briones, Bergman, Mason, Sedano.
Oh, multiple choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
That gives everyone a fighting
it.
chance.
Yeah. I'm in it.
The NBA playoffs start tomorrow with round 1 of the play-in tournament. In honor of that, I have an NBA playoffs quiz.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Who holds the NBA record for most points in a playoff game? Is it A, Wilt Chamberlain, B, Michael Jordan, or C, Bernard King? Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, or Bernard King, Jorge?
Wilt.
Greg.
I don't know why else you would put Bernard King in there, so I'm going to say Bernard King.
Okay,
I agree.
Mace.
Bernard King.
Sedano.
Bernard King.
The answer is Michael Jordan.
63 against Boston?
in Boston. I can't
Damn
believe
it.
you didn't get that.
I thought you were tricking me. I'm trying to think. Why was there...
I put
Why
Bernard
was
King,
Bernard King in there?
specifically in there for what Bergman fell for.
Misdirection
Why
play.
else would
He
you
will
put
say,
Bernard King?
why would you put Bernard King in there? I just like Bernard King.
Yeah.
Star of the movie.
Bernard King, by the way, has had 50-point games in the playoffs.
Yeah, star of the movie Fast Break.
Yeah.
Go see it. All right, number 2. Who holds the record for most points in an NBA playoff overtime with 17?
Just the overtime yourself.
Just the overtime.
Yeah.
Okay. A, Larry Bird. B, Kobe Bryant. C, Steph Curry. Bergman. Kobe or Larry Bird, Kobe, or Steph?
In an overtime.
Yeah. 17 points in an overtime.
Kobe.
Next one is Mace.
Kobe.
Sedano.
Curry.
Briones.
Kobe.
Sedano is on the board. It is Steph Curry. He had 17 points against the Portland Trail Blazers in May of 2016.
Did you know, or is that a guess?
No, I knew that.
Yeah. of course
Okay.
you do. You're in
This
the league.
player...
I knew the Michael Jordan one, too, and I let
You didn't-
Bergman screw me up.
Yeah, he talked you out of it. Okay, number 3. This player holds an NBA playoff record making 14 shots in a game without a miss. All right. Is it A, Chris Paul, B, DeAndre Jordan, or C, Andrew Bynum? Mace, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, or Andrew Bynum?
God, I almost think it's got to be a bit. I'll go weirdly DeAndre Jordan.
Okay, Sedano.
I also think it's DeAndre Jordan.
Okay,
Did you say
Briones.
DeAndre Ayton?
Jordan. DeAndre Jordan.
I'll go with Bynum.
Bergman.
I think it's Chris Paul.
It is Chris Paul. Very good, Greg. When he played last year against the Pelicans, he made 14 shots in a game without a miss. All right, Bergman won.
I think DeAndre Jordan did have like 12
Yeah,
or something.
he had
like
a
that.
good game, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. The record for most three-pointers in an NBA playoff game is 12. That record is held by A, Klay Thompson, B, Damian Lillard, or C, Reggie Miller. Sedano, Klay, Lillard, or Reggie?
Lillard.
Briones.
Dame time.
Bergman.
Yeah, Dame time.
Mace.
Yeah, Lillard.
All of you are correct.
We all followed.
everybody
in a quadruple overtime game against the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, everybody's on the board. The leaders are Bergman and Sedano.
Do you know
with
why I
2
know
each.
that?
Did you work that game?
I did.
Oh, probably shouldn't have put that one in there then. Okay. The playoff record for most three-pointers in a game without a miss is 7. So this person went 7 for 7.
This one's tougher.
That record is held by A, Robert Ory, B, Ray Allen, or C, Kyle Korver. Ory, Allen, or Korver, Jorge.
I'll say Allen.
Greg.
I'm going to say Korver.
Mace.
I'm going to say Allen.
Sedano.
I'm going to say Korver.
It's Robert Ory. I was at that game. It was in Salt Lake City. He hit 7 for 7. I believe the Lakers lost.
Yeah.
Even though he hit that one. Okay, let me see how.
Kyle Korver had some great games with LeBron.
All right,
Yeah.
3 left, and then a tiebreaker if we need it.
Yeah. Where are we right now?
Sedano 2, Bergman 2, Mason and Jorge 1 each, so it's tight.
Okay.
All right. I'll make the guys ahead go first. The playoff record for free throws made without a miss is 24.
Yikes.
That record is held by A, Kevin Durant, B, James Harden, or C, Dirk Nowitzki. Durant, Harden, or Nowitzki, Sedano.
Harden.
Bergman.
Yeah, Harden.
Jorge.
Harden.
Mace.
Gotta go different. I'll go KD.
So you're going Durant?
Yeah.
Should have gone Nowitzki.
Oh,
yeah, it's
damn.
Dirk. He did it. In that year, they
one
won.
game?
Yeah, in that year they won the title against Oklahoma City, May 17th, 2011.
That's crazy.
All right, so still only 1 point separating Sedano and Bergman from the other two guys.
Wow.
All right. The record for most free throws attempted in a playoff game is 39.
Holy moly. By one player?
One player. That record is held by A, Wilt Chamberlain, B, Shaquille O'Neal, or C, Dwayne Wade. Wilt, Shaq, or Wade, Bergman.
You're throwing Wade in there all weird on me. I don't like it. But I'm going to say it was Shaq with the Hack-a-Shack.
Okay, Sedano. Wilt, Shaq, or Wade?
Shaq.
Briones.
I'll go different. I'll go Wade.
Mace.
Yeah, gotta go Wade to win.
Shaq, and these guys have taken the lead.
Yeah.
All right.
Wade has
They
the
had
most,
the lead.
Wade has the most attempts in a finals game, but not in the playoffs.
Okay, so it's now a two-man race.
Yep.
There's one left. This will decide it between Bergman and Sedano,
Is
and
this
I have
the
a
tiebreaker?
tiebreaker
Oh,
if we need it.
tiebreaker
No,
after.
this is the last question.
Got it.
Tiebreaker if we
I'll
need
go
it.
different, Sedano. Don't worry.
Okay. The youngest player ever to score in a playoff game is A, LeBron James, B, Daryl Dawkins, or C, Kobe Bryant. LeBron, Dawkins, or Bryant, Sedano, what's the answer?
Dawkins.
Greg.
I think it's Kobe.
It is Kobe, and you're done. He did it. He scored 22 points in a game against Portland at the age of 18 years, 250 days old in April of 1997.
How old was Dawkins? He was a high school guy, too.
Yeah.
And he played on great Sixers teams.
Yeah, but the answer is Kobe. I didn't look up what I put Dawkins in there because I thought I might be able to trip you guys up. All right, let's do the tiebreaker just for fun. The NBA playoff record for the most points averaged over the course of a playoff series, so picture 6-7 games, is held by Jerry West in 1965 against Baltimore. How many points a game did West average in that series, Greg?
37.
Okay, Sedano. 0.1.
45.
Briones.
40.
Mace.
47. What?
46.3. So you just would have said
Just
46, which would have been
I would've
smarter
had
because
it,
he
yeah.
said 45.
I didn't want to do that move.
Yeah, you went over.
Game and Game inspired by Call Jacob. Winning matters. That's why after an accident, you got to go to
Michael
calljacob.com.
Jordan. Can't believe I didn't get that one.
Call 844-24-JACOB.
Thanks,
That's
Bergman, for nothing.
844-24-JACOB.
Well, his strategery worked on
It
you
worked.
there.
It made me think, like, wait, is it not the 63 against Boston in the first round?
Yep, it is.
Did you see Succession?
Don't
say
spoil
anything.
it.
Don't say anything.
No, I heard about Morales. I just started the show, so I'm
okay.
not there
yeah,
yet.
you can't say anything about it.
I like the show.
But here's what I will say, George. If you don't you can't if you just started the show. You're in the first season.
First season,
you're going to find out what happened just by going on social media.
Yeah,
it is
I do.
all over.
It's hard to avoid. Yeah.
Well, I saw
but it won't ruin the experience.
Everyone on my timeline, put Succession in caps, all caps at the same time. It felt like yesterday.
Well,
that was big.
Well, I told the story earlier. Our friend Molly Knight is a big Succession fan, and she got on her followers because she said, "Look, I live on the West Coast. All you East Coasters ruined it for me." And I thought, I love Molly, but you can't go on social media if you're trying to not find out what happened.
If you watch on HBO Max, you get it at 6.
Not if you have cable. If you have,
I have cable, I get it at 6
Oh, no, I
on
have
HBO
cable.
Max.
Yeah,
so you get
streams.
You get the East Coast feed.
Yeah,
It streams.
and you could also watch.
See, I have
it-
DirecTV, so I can watch.
You can actually
HBO East.
And on cable, on DirecTV, you can just go to HBO East and watch it at 6.
Yeah,
Right.
or
Do
stream
you have
it.
DirecTV?
Stream it at 6.
Yeah, that's one of the few great things about DirecTV now that we still don't get the Pac-12 network, but you get East Coast
Well,
feeds.
there may not be a Pac-12 anyway, so there's that.
Or it'll have San Diego State.
Yeah.
Who throws parties when they finish second?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if that
You
party...
should throw their trophy.
I don't know
I would
that
if I was
party
there. I
happened.
offered to go with Sliwa and throw their trophy, and he didn't think it was
I forgot
funny.
to ask Lee. He
Not
said he was going to go.
surprisingly.
I wonder if he went to the San Diego
I don't know.
party.
Yeah, we should ask him.
Yeah.
Now, is
All
it
right.
like an assembly? Is that what they call it?
Yes.
They went
pretty
to their,
much.
Yeah.
Pretty
they
much.
went to their little stadium and they had,
They did it at Petco, though, right?
No, they did
They
it
changed it
at...
from Petco?
At their stadium.
Bubblegum.
wherever-
Oh, well, they're fine on their campus.
I think it's like Bubblegum Stadium or
Stop.
something.
There's no way that's what it's called.
I think it's called Bubblegum Stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, close enough. Jorge, hit the super stager.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
The return of Scott Kaplan after a week away. Cap, how are you?
I am well, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Now,
Yes,
now,
it's 4
Cappy,
days.
did you
Yes.
hear that
tell
while
me.
you were gone, you were away, right?
Right. I was up in Mammoth.
Okay.
Yes.
I paid homage to you. Did you hear about it?
I've heard about it, but I never heard it on the radio.
Well, stand by, my friend. Here you go.
Here is your original line that I think is the most
That
brilliant,
Mason challenged me to work into a Laker game.
the most brilliant thing you've ever said, Cappy.
What a fortunate moment we find ourselves in.
So the challenge was, can John Ireland work that into a broadcast?
And not only, Cap, in your honor, did I work it into the broadcast, but I worked it into the game-ending, clinching call of an overtime. Here it is. What a fortunate moment we find ourselves in.
So, you want to hear something funny? That was way better than my situation. So, Ramona bet me $100.
I heard this, but I did not hear if you did it.
I did it. I told her in the first break I would do it because as you know, when we're doing the second game, I don't have a pregame hit. So, in the second game, we have I come on the first time out.
Right.
So in the pregame,
Matter of fact, this is weird because I was at that game and I saw you and I knew this bet was going on, but I couldn't hear you.
Right.
So I didn't know if you did it.
So and it was unfortunately blacked out on TV because
In LA?
we hit the limit on LA games.
Right.
So I told Ramona, that's going to be easy because I can just get them the first hit. So I told Mike Breen, I said, hey, Ramona bet me $100. I can't work that line into the broadcast. So my first hit, I'm going to toss it back to you this way by saying, what was the line again?
What a fortunate time we find ourselves in.
Yeah, and I said, Mike, what a fortunate time we find ourselves in. A potential Russell Westbrook revenge game and perhaps the biggest Lakers-Clippers game ever, Mike.
All true, by the way.
And then I tossed it, and the producer, Ian Gruca, literally went in right in my ear and goes, you're welcome, congratulations, you're now $100 richer.
Now, did they
my
give you
God.
a copy of it? because we couldn't record it
I
here.
can find it. If you give me a second, I can find it.
Here, by the way, Cappy, is John Ireland's full call.
So here, Cap, you can get the. I felt very proud of myself for working this in, not as a throwaway, but when it meant something. Here's the whole call. Abahi, behind the three-point line, now to THT. Schroeder guarding him. Back to Abahi. Back to THT. THT driving. He's into the two-point area. 15-footer. No good. Rebound. Grabbed by Troy Brown. He gets it to Schroeder. Schroeder ahead to Reeves. The clock expires, and the Lakers win it in overtime. 135-133. What a fortunate moment we find ourselves in. The Lakers have won 4 in a row on the road, and if the Warriors lose tonight, LA is in 6th place in the West.
Wow. That is so good.
Cap,
oh my God.
that was my gift to you, my friend.
Dude, that was incredible. I heard that you worked it in. I followed it all on social media, and I hadn't heard it. And you created such an emotional moment in the game. You know, John, that might be your future that's your signature thing at the end of games. When the Lakers win, you're like, what a fortunate moment we find ourselves in.
You know what? I love that. I'm going to work it in again. Now that I have your permission to steal your line, I'm going to work it in again.
Yeah, it's not even mine. It was really Mason's.
No, it was yours.
I mean, it was mine.
The first time we heard it
but
was when
I was like
it.
coaching you up.
Yeah, right. Now, George, I got to say, I'm ultra flattered that you and Ramona had the bet and you won the bet. I mean, I'm flattered on one hand, and on the other hand, I'm super happy for you. You're $100 richer.
Wait a minute. So, no, honest answer. Has she paid you yet?
No.
Okay.
She knew I did it because I told her she was at the game.
All right, we will lord over her until she pays up.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm actually watching it now. I'm recording it, and I'm going to send it to Brianna.
So did I tell you the one I did in Houston? Mason, I don't know if I told you this.
No.
So we stay in this uber fancy hotel down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only 5-star hotel in all. Matter of fact, Cap, I think I sent you exactly where it is so you could see how over the top it is.
Is this the place where you jumped into the pool?
Yeah,
in
that's
your
the
clothes?
story I'm going to tell Mason. So Michael and we eat dinner at Mastro's. There's a Mastro's connected to this hotel. And we get done with dinner, and we're walking back in. And at night, the pool is closed because they turn it into a restaurant, like a fine dining restaurant.
All around the
and there's probably,
pool.
20 tables around the pool with people eating at all the tables.
Nice.
And Michael and I walk in the front lobby, and Michael said, I'll give you $100 if you jump into that pool right now fully clothed. And before he could take it back, I handed him my wallet and my phone, and I jumped right in the pool. And he paid me on the spot.
That is crazy.
And the manager comes over and he goes, yeah, I'm going to need your room number. This pool's closed. And I went, well, he just offered me $100. He was not amused. And finally, after a while, when I'm standing there, I even had my shoes on.
Dripping wet.
I'm standing there dripping wet. He goes, do you want me to go in through the back? I will. I'll go in through like the waiter's entrance. And he goes, no. He goes, here, let me just get you some towels.
Yeah.
Dry off for 5 minutes, and then I'll follow you with a dry towel and just get in the elevator and go to your room. And I did.
Dude.
And then they put all my clothes in a dryer, and I had $100.
Wait,
Wow.
you did this with your shoes on, though? Like, that
I
would
did.
have been for me. I would have been like,
That
yo,
was,
let me
Michael
take my
made
shoes
it a
off.
condition of the bet.
Oh, really?
He said, can I give you my wallet, my phone? He said, yes, but you got to leave your shoes on.
But, John, has everybody seen the video of you going into the pool?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I have a question.
I just listened to this.
Didn't work?
Yes and no. So D'Angelo Russell hit a shot when I was starting the line.
So you can't hear it as well?
And I had to say, hey, basket there by the Lakers. I'm in the middle of my report.
Right.
I said,
I've been there a million times.
And the crowd drowned at the beginning. So all you hear is, we find ourselves in a fortunate moment here, Mike.
Yeah.
So she doesn't owe me the $100.
Yeah, she does. You didn't nail it on the exact thing.
Right.
But,
damn you, D'Angelo.
But, yeah.
Wait, so John, you jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
Clothes on, shoes on.
Yeah.
Now, this video has not been released?
Not that I know of. Yeah, I think Trudell put it out.
Okay.
Like
Trudell put
on
it out?
social. But here,
I
I'll send it.
saw
I'll send it to you and Sedano right now.
No, I've seen the video, and George, you should see this. Check me on this. When you and Michael show up at the hotel,
Yeah.
and Michael kind of goes and puts some stuff down on the table,
Yeah.
and he seems to take out an envelope to pull the $100 bill out of an envelope.
Oh,
Yes.
probably his per diem, right?
Yeah.
Is
It's
Michael-
from his per diem envelope.
Okay, I was wondering if he's walking around with an envelope.
No, he
envelope
does.
of
No,
cash.
he does collect hundreds. Here's a weird thing about Michael. When we get our per diem, he goes to Bill McDonald and I and he says, "Hey, I want your hundreds," and he gives us all of his 20s, and so it's Michael is obsessed with having a bunch. You can ask him about it tomorrow. Having a bunch of $100 bills,
like a roll,
yeah,
like a ball player.
And I think now he's up to $3,000 or $4,000.
No,
yeah, and Clay and Trace have found it. Have found his stash.
Wow.
So they now just go in and take his money. And he called them both at the same time, and he said, "You guys, you're both making millions of dollars in professional athletes. Stop taking my money." And they don't care. They go in and raid his hundreds all the time.
I have.
Oh my God, that's
I'm not a big cash guy, but I have at home what we call the go bag. And so
in it, you have a stash of cash?
I've got a stash of cash, and Juan has no idea where it is. No idea. He goes and looks for the go bag all the time. Cannot find it.
Well, my wife...
all it is cash and a fake beard and mustache.
Okay, like Neil Diamond?
In case I need to go.
Yeah, you got the Neil Diamond fake hat
Exactly.
and fake mustache.
The go bag.
So, Mace, I found out the other day, my wife is just like you.
Yeah.
Does not carry any cash whatsoever.
Yeah.
She just says she doesn't need it. I go, what happens when you have to tip people? She goes, I don't tip anybody.
Well, Michael said in the game on Friday, Michael said that cash carries like 200 different types of bacteria and fungus and all that
Well,
stuff.
he
It's
would
filthy.
know.
Yeah.
Michael Thompson would know.
How's he clean it?
I don't think he does. I think he loves money, so he puts up with it.
No.
Now, George, do you know your playoffs?
Watching your video right now.
Oh, are you? Yeah, I just sent it to Mason and Sedano,
Yeah.
Cappy. Do you know your playoff schedule yet?
I'm calling the 9-10 play-in game in New Orleans on radio.
Oh, I actually think that's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
I think New Orleans wins unless Shea Gilgeous-Alexander goes crazy.
Yeah, I'm off this weekend because I'm doing college football spring game at Miami on ACC
Oh, that'll be
Network.
fun for you.
Yeah, on ACC Network. And then I'm back next week. I don't know where I'll be next week.
Well, either do I.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
I
true.
mean, the season could be over. I could be in Memphis.
Yeah, and then from there
Tell
on
him to
out-
send you to Memphis. We can go to Gus's.
Yeah, Gus's is good. I heard you say you can eat chicken day
Every-
and night
every
for a
day.
week straight. It's probably not good for the ticker, is what I would say.
No,
Yeah,
probably not.
Probably
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Cappy.
What's wrong with
You go-
chicken every night?
Fried chicken?
Oh,
Every
fried
day.
chicken. Fried chicken.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
I
if
didn't
I'm
get
if
that
I'm
part.
there for a week and I eat it for lunch and dinner all week, that's probably not good.
Have you ever seen Super Size Me?
Yes,
It's
it'll
like-
keep you out of McDonald's
Yeah.
for at least a month.
It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, right.
Like you're just going to get worn down.
Fried chicken
physically.
every night.
Yeah.
Cappy, you coming up for the game on tomorrow night?
I am, as a matter of fact. How about you?
Yeah, me too.
Are you guys going to go and get lost again in the
Are
arena?
we? Yeah, Cappy, you lead the way, man.
Now I know how to get from that, like the nosebleed press box all the way down.
So
now I can make it a lot faster.
I've got the business card of Travis Madison. Do you remember Travis?
Of course, I know Travis Madison
He goes
very
to
well.
visit him every day.
He's
now.
Every time I'm there.
He's the guy that runs
Hyde.
security at Hyde.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you say he runs Social Security at Hyde?
No.
Yeah, runs Social Security.
I
at
mean,
Hyde.
you guys
By the
do
way,
use
we are
that,
both
yeah.
eligible
Yeah, I
to
was
collect.
just
I
gonna
think
say.
at Hyde. No, we're gonna go. So tomorrow night we're gonna go to Hyde, right?
Yeah. Well, let me just ask you a question, Mace.
Yeah.
Are you going to get done with the show tomorrow and then go see a movie and then come back and pick me up? or what?
Exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh, except it's a 7:00 tip,
Oh.
so you got to
Oh,
find you
early
got to
tip.
hit the window.
Why do you hate Jack Black singing on Super Mario?
Because it's joke singing.
But wait a minute, did you
I
see
saw
School
the
of Rock?
movie.
Watch School of Rock with your kids, George. It's a great
I haven't
movie.
watched it with my kids. I remember watching it years ago.
Yeah.
But I saw Super Mario with my daughter. She loved it.
Did she?
It's a kids movie.
Yeah, yeah.
If you play the video games,
If you grew up playing
right,
it,
and I grew up playing Super Mario.
See,
so
I
it was-
did not.
Yeah, so it was very much in line with that, and it had like a couple of funny adult jokes, like a lot of those movies have. You know,
it made like $347 million.
dude, I believe
something.
it. It was. I went to a 3:00 showing. It was pretty packed on a Sunday on Easter.
There you go. Did you see Air?
I have not yet. I'm going to go see that myself.
I'm going to
So
see it on
good.
the road when
Yeah, me
you
too.
and I are out on the road
It
somewhere.
is so good.
Yeah, I heard it's great.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, but if you got a kid, go watch Super Mario.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Is everybody here caught up to speed on Ted Lasso?
I am.
I'm not.
I am up to
so
date.
I fell asleep. I was so tired last night. I fell asleep because I literally landed from Nashville at like 8 in the morning from a spring game, and I did all the family stuff. So I went to bed. I was trying to watch it. I caught up on 2 episodes. I'm at the point where they're going to play Nate. Like that. That's the last episode.
Yeah,
Okay, that's the most recent.
So
I
you
fell
haven't
asleep
seen that
right
one.
at the beginning.
Okay,
of that
so
one.
here's
Wait, what episode is that? Is that? 'cause
It's
I'm only
3.
through-
Or is it 3 or 4?
4.
Maybe it's
I'm
4.
only, it's got to be 4 because I'm only through 3 because they got the new guy who's like the
Zava.
Zava.
Oh, I love
right,
Zava.
They got Zava. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Jamie's very upset.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here, I'm going to tell you guys, without spoiling anything, a really cool Easter egg to watch in the episode where they play Nate's team.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys know who Grant Wall is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, really famous
may
soccer
rest in
writer,
peace. Yeah.
tragically died at the World Cup
Yeah.
while he's working. So apparently when they decided to make Ted Lasso into a series, because remember, Ted Lasso started as a promotional campaign on NBC
commercial,
for the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then they turned it into a series, and they wanted to talk to people that knew soccer. They needed advisors. So apparently Grant was super generous with his time. So if you watch, I think it's episode 4, whichever one where they play Nate.
Right.
Coach Beard is in his office talking to Ted, and he's clutching a book to his heart.
Yeah.
Watch closely and look at the book.
It's Grant's book.
It's Grant's
Really?
book,
That's cool.
which I thought was a really cool Easter egg.
That is cool.
Yeah, that is
Grant,
cool.
very nice man. Like it's sad that he's not around anymore. But I'm very interested in watching that episode. So I'm glad that I didn't I fell asleep right at the beginning, so I could just watch the whole thing
Wait,
again.
so you're going into episode 4, George?
Yes.
Where they're about to play Nate's team?
Right. That's the next episode.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
West
That's where I'm
Ham
at, too.
against Richmond.
Right, because Zava's got them like right there in the top 4.
Dude,
Right.
Zava's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Gobert thing, do you guys think Michael thought
They're better without him.
Well,
You think
you
so?
can make that argument. Michael thought what he said to me yesterday. He said they're better, or they'll let Gobert play in the game. He'll
Yes, I
apologize
heard
to
this.
his
I heard
teammates,
this. Yeah.
and he will apologize directly to Anderson, and he'll be fine.
Nope.
Why, George?
I think they've already announced the suspension. So they're
No,
not going back
I know,
on it.
but why not let him play?
Well,
He
first of all,
apologized to everybody.
He's already dinged up. He's got back issues, back spasms.
Right, so maybe more to it than
right,
what
he
we're
may be,
seeing.
Right, and he's also like he was bad in that game yesterday. Like Jonas Valanciunas was working him, which is why Anderson got all over him and called him the B word.
Right.
That's allegedly what he said to him, and that's what set him off.
How does that story end? He doesn't really have a tradable contract, right?
No, they're going to have to trade Towns, I think, eventually.
Wow.
To get those.
Because at some
Picks
point, I think the same thing with Kyrie. You're pot committed. You moved
Yeah.
everything in the world.
I mean,
to get
Tim
him.
Connolly has been a good executive in his career. That was not one of those shining moments, though.
Well, it could go down, especially if Gobert doesn't come back to the Wolves. I think he probably will. But if he doesn't come back, it might go down as the worst trade in NBA history.
Oh, I mean, it's up
9 players.
Yeah.
It was 5 players and 4 draft picks.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And strangely, in a full circle moment, 2 of the players, Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt, who
are on
ended
the
up with the
now.
Lakers.
By the
Yeah.
way, it's actually technically 5 because there's a pick swap in there, too.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you have it.
10.
When was the last time you had a scuffle like that? You know, like a.
I mean, with
through the
Cappy
big-
every
with
show.
Cappy, I was gonna
Every
say,
show.
if you
It
guys were in
happens.
the same room,
Every
I
show.
would say it happens.
Every
right,
show.
but here's the thing. You know, I did hear this all happen yesterday, John, on the radio when Michael said that, and I've watched this thing like 10 times. He doesn't really go to punch him in the face to knock him out.
Correct.
Hits him in the
You know,
chest.
It's more of a push
it's
than
like
it is a
brotherly
love tap.
Yeah.
sort of a thing. You know what I mean?
By the
It's
way,
kind
what were you laughing at that Bergman was saying to you over there that he was laughing?
I can tell you. So Bergman made the point that you just made earlier today that they're better without him, and Mason shouted him down, and you made the point and he didn't say anything
No,
to
he
you.
said, "You think so?" That's what you said.
Mike, you think so?
Bergman, did you have the exact same point?
I've been saying it for a
no,
long
it's
time.
like that TV dad commercial.
Yeah.
You know,
one of his
I
regular
just said that exact thing.
one of his regular tropes is Rudy Gobert is overrated. You've said it a
Yes,
million
because
times.
he is.
He's not worth a max contract.
Oh, by the way, Greg, that was the other thing I was trying to think of that you were right about.
That he was overrated.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
This is a very
Massively
good day
overrated.
for you. You have been
Yes.
saying for years that Rudy Gobert is not as good as we all think
By
he
the way,
is.
where are the Sparks picking in the WNBA draft that just started now?
10th.
Yeah, Boston win number 1.
They picked 10th.
No. Are you going to have complete coverage?
No, I mean, I'd like to. Let me
Total.
tell you something. The women's game has exploded right
yeah,
now.
it has.
no doubt.
It's getting like 700. That LSU game against
Highest
Iowa,
rated women's game ever.
I mean, it was like 1 million people watched
Yeah,
the game.
yeah.
It's an incredible number. That's like an NBA regular season.
Yeah,
game.
it's great. It's great.
So-
Did you say the number 1 pick was already taken?
Aaliyah Boston from South Carolina. Yeah, she's the
Everybody thought that
best
was
two-way
who would
player
go
in the
first.
sport. Yeah. But
I agree.
Caitlin Clark has still got another year. And
Yeah,
she's like
another
the,
year.
Too young.
She's,
She's
like
too
the
young
Steph
to come
Curry
in.
of college. Of
Not
women's-
going to the White House, though.
Is she not? Right. No, that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that
Let's
was
be honest.
ridiculous.
I mean, what were they thinking?
The participation visit.
I mean, you can't do that. John would literally
I would throw the trophy. I would throw the trophy at Iowa.
He'd go into the Rose Garden and throw the trophy.
Yeah, I'd say, why are you giving Iowa an award? What the hell?
Yeah. All right, there you go. There's
Throw it
your
up against the
Crosstalk.
White House and see if I can damage it.
What do you got coming up today?
What do you
Stupidity?
think?
I
What do you
mean,
think?
tons of stupidity.
Yeah.
There's no question.
That's what I
about
listen
that.
for.
Yeah, I mean,
I get some basketball, but I want the stupidity.
Well, we got Russillo coming on today at 5, and from The Ringer, of
Yep.
course, one of the most popular podcasts,
Yeah,
sports
for
podcasts
sure.
in America.
I just listened to him and Bill talking about the whole. He thinks Gobert is an idiot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll discuss that with him, and then McMiniman's going to stop by at 6:15.
Oh, that isn't that Cappy's
nemesis? Yeah.
Miniman.
Yeah.
Minimum. Hey, Mace, I just got a text from Travis, our guy up at Hyde.
Yep.
Says, bring it in.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yep.
So you're going to be hanging out at Hyde and not actually watching.
We'll be at the
game.
cool. We'll be with the cool kids.
I mean, for a little while.
You could argue that's about 70% of Staples.
Whoa.
Or Crypto.com. A lot of people love the concourse, so to speak.
All right. Super Crosstalk presented by Coors Light, keeping Southern California chill all season long. We're back tomorrow at 1. Shadano and Cappy now.